Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Wednesday, November 21st, 2018. It is episode 10. Thought today we'd start by looking at a couple stories from history before we talk about what's going on in the present. And again, I like this website, cleveland.com. They keep track of each day in history, have a lot of interesting posts. Their top post for this date is the fire at the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Today leaves 40 days left in the year, and what a perfect day for the MGM Grand to burn. 40. Out of all of the stories they had, the one that jumped out at me the most, though, was this. In 2001, you can recall after September 11th, the big scare going on in the media was people receiving anthrax in the mail. Apparently, on this day in history in 2001, thought I heard the Siri sound. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, in 2001, on this day, the last victim died from anthrax inhalation. And notice her name and her age. Look at what's so interesting about this. Again, November 21st leaves 40 days left in the year. Anthrax is 40. Terror is 40. Also 94, like her age. Call what we just saw, the terror attack down under in Australia. The two events in the same two locations, or in the same location, exactly 94 weeks apart. We just covered that in that event. But her name also, the name of this woman, it had the gematria just like September 11th. And this anthrax scare began right after. So, again, all throughout history, it's been news by the numbers. Now, one of the top stories on all mainstream outlets this morning, from the United States to the UK, this is the top story on the BBC too. Tribespeople believed to have killed 27-year-old who trespassed on remote island. And this happened in India just before Thanksgiving. You know, the story of the natives and the ones mistaken as Indians. Here's the picture from the BBC. Notice how they emphasize this phrase, killed by arrow-wielding tribe. Notice in gematria, that sums to 139 and 158. Just like Freemasonry, just like Christopher, as in Christopher Columbus. They said the man was 27 years old, a fateful number connected to rituals. In this case, he was a Christian missionary, which reminds me of the 27 books in the New Testament that begin with Matthew. And Matthew equals 27. His name was John Allen Chu or Chow. Show you what's so interesting about this man's name. The full name has the gematria of 65, like Christianity. His first name's John, like one of the authors of the Gospel, the book of John, John the Baptist. John's got the gematria of 47 and 61, like Christian. This missionary, his name has perfect overlap with missionary in the two reduction-based ciphers. Also, the terminology of tribespeople. Look at tribespeople in the base ciphers. The 142, the 61. Christian is 142 and 61. Tribespeople also has the 65, like the man's name, like Christianity. Missionary is also 142. His last name as well has the gematria of 33, like Bible, like Sunday, like good book. Significant number to the story of Jesus Christ, as you well know. And in light of this man being in India, consider Indian sums to 33 as well. So this the top story the day before Thanksgiving. One of two things have obviously happened here. Either this story is a complete fiction and made up, or this man was chosen and sent off on a death mission. The story is that this island, these people, they are not welcoming to outsiders. This is what they do. That's the story. But then again, this reminds me of, what we learned about the founding of this country, the United States of America, where the story of Thanksgiving comes from. The people with the Bibles said that the brown native people here, they were a bunch of savages, godless heathens, killers. And after that March 22nd massacre in history, the movement began to create a new nation and genocide the native people. And again, the seeds of that were also planted by Christopher Columbus, who journaled about how easy it was to kill and pillage the native people. So I think a lot of people will look at this story and just go, oh, really? A Christian missionary on an Indian island before Thanksgiving? But imagine if they knew gematria. Then they'd be like, okay, I see what they did here, And again, that's why I was so grateful to find this language, because for years I looked at news media just like this, and I said, you got to be kidding me. And now I see how they are kidding me and everyone else. As I move along today, text messages are coming in right now. I don't know if it's people who are actually paying attention to the podcast or just other people who have other things to say. If you want to, if one of these stories, if there's something you caught in it that I'm not discussing and you want to call in and add, you're more than welcome to. I think we'll finish ahead of an hour today. We'll definitely take your calls at the end. But if I'm going along a story and there's something you want to chime in with, something you noticed that I didn't, again, that number to call in is 509-731-0567. And please, if you do call in, add something to a story that I'm in the middle of covering or maybe have already covered. If not, if it's something that I don't cover by the end, that'd be a good time to call and share the additional information. So just try to stay on topic as we go. This right here took me back down memory road. I never liked LFO, but I remember being in high school, and I remember my first serious girlfriend. She had a thing for this song, this little boy band. I think the song was called Summer Girls. But anyway, in the headlines this morning, one of the members is dead, and it turns out 2 of the 3 members of this group are already dead from cancer. I want to show you what's so interesting about the surviving member who has a September 11th birthday in light of the deaths of the other 2 men, the latest coming today. Devin Lima, dead at 41. And here it is right here. LFO singer Devin Lima has died after a year-long battle with stage 4 cancer, TMZ has learned. Devin died early Wednesday morning, that's today, according to a family member. Devin was a half of a duo, the other half being Brad Fischetti. The group originally was a trio, but the third singer, Rich Cronin, died after a long fight with leukemia. Don't forget, just using the alphabetic order, cancer, chemo, kill, they all sum to 44. The man who died today, Devin Lima, his name also has that gematria of 44. So, Devin Lima, born March 18th, 77, dead today. From his own birthday, he died 8 months and 3 days later. I'm going to show you why that's more interesting than you probably already know. Notice also the 35 weeks and 3 days. That's a bit like 353, which is the 71st prime number. Their hit song, Summer Girls, has gematria 71. And LFO stands for Light Funky Ones, spelled just like this. Light Funky Ones, mutilated spelling, summing to 71. The surviving member of the group, Mr. Fischetti, from his birthday, September 11th, to the latest member's death is 71 days later. And his name, Brad Fischetti, has this gematria of 83 as well, like murder. So, The latest member dead 71 days after his birthday, corresponding with the name of the group, Summer Girls. Also, from his own date of birth to his date of death, it's got the 8-3 thing going. The 35-3 thing going. Looks beyond coincidence to me. And again, the amazing part of all this is just how well synced up all of these things are. And I realize that a lot of these boy band groups and music groups, they are assembled, they're put together, they're contrived. And again, I always wonder, when these groups are contrived and when they sign their life away to get their hit song out there, even if it's just for one summer, like it was with this group. I don't remember these guys having any other songs outside of that summer. But, it's like, how do they continue to do this? How do they continue to line these rituals up so perfectly? And couldn't help but notice that Devin Lima and Summer Girls and Ritual Sacrifice also have this relationship. So anyway, looks like Brad Fischetti, he's the fortunate one. And back when this song was a hit, nobody knew what was so special about September 11th yet. This happened in 99, the summer of 99 that song came out. I wasn't quite 16 years old. In my own memory, though, it feels like it was a summer earlier, but it must have been that summer. That's what it says. Felt like it was the summer before I turned 15. Anyway. The prior member, he died on a date with 47 numerology. The member who died September 8th, 2010, 47, the 15th prime. LFO also has the gematria 15. Killing connects to 47. The latest member, he's dead on a date with a life lesson number of 43. The surviving member, Brad Fischetti, is 43 years old right now. Masonic and Killing are 43, so is RIP. The two dead members dead on dates with 43 and 47 numerology, reminding of the Masonic symbolism in the compass. Also, this didn't happen today. This happened some time ago, but somebody asked me if I could look into the death of a reggae singer. And they said, please look at his death in light of the other reggae musician, Tony Rebel. These two men used to perform together. One died prematurely. The other one's career grew, that being Tony Rebel. So I noticed that the man who died, he died in a house fire on a date with 44 numerology, the kill number. And he also died on a date with 115 numerology. Tomorrow's the anniversary of JFK assassination, which was on a date with 115 numerology. Remember, killing sums to 115 with the reverse alphabetic order and Jewish gematria. And in this man's case, he died a span of 115 days from his upcoming birthday on a date with 115 numerology. And the reason that's interesting is because the man who benefited from his death, seemingly, was Tony Rebel, having gematria 44 and a January 15th birthday, 1/15. So, person actually asked me about this before the headline broke about this man, and it just served as another reminder just how familiar the numbers are in these death rituals and the patterns of one celebrity dying for the benefit of another. It's the same familiar numbers again and again. And on my radio show tonight, there will be somebody calling in who says that he is going to debunk gematria. He has the silver bullet to prove that all of this is a coincidence. So I am looking forward to that phone call. We'll see if he can do it. I don't know how he could. It's undeniable patterns day after day that repeat throughout the course of history, but we'll see what he's got. One of the top stories today is Justice Roberts defending the judicial system after Donald Trump yesterday made a comment about the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals being an Obama court. And even before there was Obama, the conservatives in the country, they've always hated the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I mean, if you've watched Fox News for the last 2 decades, that's what half their content's about. The liberal Ninth Circuit, destroying the country. So this isn't any new talking point, but I want to show you what's so interesting about Justice Roberts defending the Ninth Circuit on this date, who is absolutely a conservative. From his birthday, it's 42 weeks and 4 days, and 9 has the gematria of 42 and 24. He's defending the Ninth Circuit. He's defending the judicial system. From Trump's birthday, June 14th, the flag's birthday, to today is 5 months and 70 days, big Supreme Court number we've talked a lot about in recent times regarding the whole Kavanaugh process. And if you're listening to the news, it's also introducing the narrative of, what a great nation the United States of America is and how it has just courts unlike other nations. And keep in mind, today leaves 40 days left in the year. United States 40, US 40, USA 40. The other thing that got me thinking about is I wonder how this lines up with the latest confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh, the puppet show that it was. Before I get into this piece about Kavanaugh, just in case you missed my work, I showed how the Kavanaugh confirmation was perfectly synced up with John Roberts. So John Roberts is 63 years old right now. The date that Kavanaugh was confirmed, October 6th, was 36 weeks later. 36, 63 reflections of each other. It was a major Jesuit ritual with the entire Kavanaugh process. And notice how John Roberts, who's Catholic, lines up with the Jesuit order. Perfect overlap in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Where it doesn't overlap, John Roberts is 63, like his current age. And remember, there is a rule for the 19th letter. In reverse, that is H. H becomes the 19th letter in reverse. That means John Roberts can also be 72 to correspond with Jesuit order. John Roberts also joined the court on a date with 63 numerology. The date that Kavanaugh was confirmed was a date with 54 numerology. Supreme Court and John Roberts are 54 and 45 in the septenary cipher. Chief Justice, which he is also overlapping with Catholic in gematria. Don't forget, in light of the 45 for John Roberts, that 45 is the 9th triangular number. He's the head of the 9 members of the Supreme Court. You add 1 through 9, it equals 45. There's this big conversation about, is Roe versus Wade going to get overturned? Something that happened 45 years ago. Next year will be 46 years, 2019. Keep that in mind. Catholic, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. Catholic and religion, 46. And with regards to this whole thing happening with Kavanaugh, 36 weeks after Robert's 63rd birthday, remember 666 is the 36th triangular number, and Supreme Court and number of the beast have this overlap. And the word beast alone is 47, like judge, like gavel, like the very significant number in D.C. where almost everything is 47. And don't forget the Washington Monument in D.C., the land of 47, is 666 feet tall, 555 feet above ground, 111 is below. So, from the day of the Kavanaugh confirmation to today is a span of 47 days. It's also 46 days later, again, Catholics 46, but it's a span of 47, meaning it's Kavanaugh's 47th day of being a member of the court. And look at what's going on over at Fox News today. Here's their top story. Kavanaugh could be deciding vote for these 5 issues. It's not an accident that Fox News has this up as their top story on Kavanaugh's 47th day of being a Supreme Court judge. Judge 47, gavel 47, DC 47, government, authority, president, White House, Republican, Whig, Democrat, France. Looks like I forgot to add the name Trump up there for one more 47. But it's a big 47 show. And it's not an accident that at this same time, you can see down here below on Fox, they have the subheadline of Roberts and Trump about the Obama judge remark. I didn't decode Obama judge. I just got to know what's it equal. And see how they got that emphasized at Fox. Obama judge. The 191 sticks out in a big way. That's the 43rd prime. Remember the Jesuit order, their full name is the Society of Jesus 191. 43rd prime, Kavanaugh's born on the 43rd day of the year. That was a big number in the whole Christine Blasey Ford thing. So look at that one more time. Obama judge. 56 like Washington, D.C. 79 is the reflection of 97 Supreme. These numbers pop the most. 139, the 34th prime. Anyway. So from the Supreme Court confirmation of Kavanaugh, and let's not forget that he was confirmed on October 6th, the day leaving 86 days left in the year. Kavanaugh equals 86. Thomas equals 86. Anita Hill equals 86. Sexual assault equals 86. It was the anniversary of the day that Anita Hill accused Clarence Thomas of sexual assault, October 6th. They waited until a Saturday to go through the process to complete the obvious ritual. So anyway, 47 days later, Roberts was a big part of that ritual with Kavanaugh as well. As a reminder, Roberts equals 47, like John, like Judge. His name's John Roberts. So no accident. And sure, it's leading to the next chapter of this ongoing narrative. So we'll see where it goes. I feel like there's something to this riddle I'm also missing right now. It'll come to me later if there is, or somebody else will point it out before I think of it. But no doubt that coming to, we were just talking about how Obama judges 191, the 43rd prime. Today's date has a life lesson number of 43. So one more reason for that to be up there. Big number. Again, in the whole Christine Blasey Ford thing. And again, it makes sense for the Society of Jesus to be called, have a gematria value of 191 because Jesus Christ is 43. 191, the 43rd prime. Don't forget that D.C. used to be the Catholic colony. That's why it's between Virginia and Maryland. So also in the news today, what's funny is my mom and my sister and her children, they just went to New York to visit. And just yesterday, they walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. Yesterday, they called me and they said they walked 10 miles. I was impressed. I said, wow, and you're not sore after walking 10 miles, Mom? She said, no, I feel good. My shoes are very comfortable. I said, wow, that's great. But they walked across the Brooklyn Bridge just yesterday. And it's a good thing they did it yesterday because looks like they might not have been able to do it today. So look at this. Big accident, big deadly accident on the Brooklyn Bridge today, the day leaving 40 days left in the year. Brooklyn and our most pure cipher is 40. Brooklyn's coordinates even on the 40th parallel. And I noticed that Brooklyn, the bridge, was established on a date with 112 numerology as well. So notice in our two base ciphers, Brooklyn and mathematics, 112 and 40. From then to now, rituals by the numbers. And I'm sure a lot of people were inconvenienced today. Keep in mind it's the 325th day of the year when you write out Scottish Rite of Freemasonry using the alphabetic order. It's 325. The gang with the logo with the instruments of mathematics. And we'll see if this is a precursor to anything, you know. And again, these news stories are a web interconnected to the next planned tragedy. So we'll see what happens. Also in the news today, apparently yesterday, a number of celebrity stars were vandalized on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. J-Lo, Pharrell, Ellen DeGeneres. I forget if there's more. But this happened yesterday, the day leaving 41 days left in the year, the 13th prime, and star equals 13. So I noticed with regards to J-Lo, it also happened 119 days after her birthday. That's a significant number. So J-Lo seems pretty healthy, alive, and well. Still active in the celebrity scene. I'd be surprised if anything happened to her, but if any of these celebrity names pop up with sudden demises, don't remember this or don't forget this story, because so often, you know, again, clues are left in the media for what's to come next. Some more celebrity gossip today. The Aaron Rodgers feud, him and his brother. His brother came out today and said that he's a fraud because he's telling people to support the victims of the fire, but apparently Aaron Rodgers hadn't even called to check on his own mother, who's from the area. And, you know, if you're not aware, Aaron Rodgers played his college football at Cal, grew up as a big 49ers fan. But no accident this news is coming today. The feud between the brothers, because the name Rodgers has that gematria of 40. And here we are on the day leaving 40 days left in the year. And apparently Aaron Rodgers made a $1 million donation to the victims today, which caused his brother to call him out because he said, why would you do this for other people if you don't even care about your own mother? He was probably too busy doing the latest discount double check commercial. A lot of people asked if I could look into the arrest of this rapper. I'd honestly never heard of him before. Tekashi 6ix9ine. I noticed this is the new thing with all these young rappers. They all have their faces tattooed. Just everybody. It's like, I guess if you want to be in the industry, you got to have tattoos all over your face in this day and age. But he was arrested this Sunday. That was November 18th, the 322nd day of the year, and he was charged with racketeering, fraudulent business. And fittingly, his birthday is May 8th, and he was arrested on his 195th day of his age, where racketeering equals 100 and... Or wait a minute. I'm gonna have to go back and redo this one. I see that I spelled racketeering wrong, so this is not correct. I'm sure there is a greater riddle to this. Probably no accident that it happened on the 322nd day of the year, old 322. But what I did notice that's interesting about this guy, that is not an accident, is his hit song is called Gumo, which equals 69, and that's what's tattooed on his forehead. And his rap name also syncs with his birth name, which is something we see again and again with these rappers. So, Gumo. Never heard the song, and I probably never will. For all the people who care more about that story, I'll look at it again. Type it too fast. Anyhow. Yesterday, one of the top stories in the evening time, this was going on when we were doing gematria school. Mark Zuckerberg, who looks very unhealthy. Looks like he's got conjunctivitis or something. But Mark Zuckerberg was defending his Facebook platform. And again, anytime Mark Zuckerberg's in the headlines, which is true of pretty much everything else in the news, it's by the numbers. And don't ever forget that Mark Zuckerberg has the same birthday as Israel. He used to go around with the hoodie with the Star of David on the inside. Israel's birthday is May 14th, 1948. It is the Zionist nation. November 20th, the day leaving 41 days left in the year. Facebook is 41, also like Zionist. So this news came on Zuckerberg's 191st day of his age, or 190 days after his birthday. Synagogue of Satan has that gematria of 190. And that is what Israel is, the synagogue of Satan nation that we support with our taxpayer dollars every single day. And, probably ultimately what Facebook serves. It's not an accident this guy went around in the early days of Facebook with a hoodie that had the Star of David on the inside, or that his birthday is the exact same as Israel's. So here's another good one. Photos surface of Cindy Hyde Smith posing with Confederate artifacts. This was yesterday. From her birthday, which is May 10th, she's 59 years old, born in 59. From her May 10th birthday to the date of the upcoming runoff election, which she's going to be a part of, that's next Tuesday, November 27th. So from her birthday to that runoff election, 201 days. And the word Confederate has this gematria of 201. 201. Not an accident. Amazing how things just always show up around election time. There's things coming out of the woodwork. And I don't know anything about this woman, but no doubt the victim of news by the numbers. On this same day, Walmart wanted a refund for the donation they made to her campaign. She made some remarks about a public hanging. You search around, you'll notice a lot of media emphasize public hanging. Yesterday had the 69 numerology in our most pure cipher, public hanging, 69. So apparently they want $2,000 back. Sounds like a pretty modest contribution for Walmart, a store that gets its buildings and parking lots and all of that paid for with our tax dollars. For all of you who shop at Walmart, if you don't realize, the reason they're able to keep lower prices is because a lot of our tax dollars are invested into their stores, so they have a major competitive advantage. Imagine if you wanted to set up a business and the government came and built your store for you, paved your parking lot, set up the roads so that people could have nice access to your store, because that's what Walmart gets. Also, a little follow-up on the Chicago and Denver shootings that were in the headlines just a couple days ago. They ended up putting out the name of the shooter. They said his name was Juan Lopez. And like I said, just wait until they release the name of the shooter. It's going to correspond with the date. It's going to correspond with the location. Remember, this happened on the day leaving 42 days left in the year. Juan Lopez, the shooter, 42, gun 42. The name Juan alone's 46, like Chicago, like chaos. The name Juan also has gematria 26. And if you saw my video from the day of this shooting, I mentioned how CNN just kept repeating that the hospital was on 26th as if it was the most important detail in the story. 26th on 26th. Police entered from 26th. The shooter entered from 26th. I was like, okay, how many more times are you guys going to say 26? So sure enough, they had to give you a shooter name with the 26 gematria as well. And again, it's the order out of chaos agenda. The victim he shot, he had a relationship with reportedly. Her name was Tamara O'Neill. Familiar gematria and death, 38. Death, murder, killing, all 38. Again, that movie poster, Murder by Numbers. If you're trying to wake people up to this, I feel like one of the easiest ways is this code of Murder by Numbers, and just looking at things such as the song Murder by Numbers, which came out in '83, the movie poster Murder by Numbers, which changes the letters E to 3 and B to 8. His name has some other standout things. The 74 and 61 are just like active shooter. 123 like conspiracy, 39 like masonry, 42 also Freemason number. So that was the shooter in Chicago, Juan Lopez. And for the downtown Denver shooters, they said it was a pair of 24-year-olds. Now, remember, Chaos also has gematria of 89 in the base ciphers. 89 is the 24th prime. They said that this happened in the Lodo neighborhood. Notice Lodo is 46, just like Chicago, like Chaos, and these were the two shootings that made the headlines. They ended up saying the next day that there were 4 shootings in 4 different states. We covered that yesterday. But Lodo also has the gematria of 19, and this happened on November 19th. And consider it happened on the day leaving 42 days left in the year, which is the reflection of 24. So the shooters' names were Josh Hayward. Notice Josh Hayward, 51 and 57, like conspiracy. 37 and 109 in these exact same ciphers where Hayward equals 109 and 37, shooting equals 109 and 37. And the other shooters, Deshae Armstrong, his name has all sorts of things that pop out. 187, the homicide code, Fraternal Order of Police. Remember Mercy Hospital, the Chicago shooting, it had the 187 coding. 218, number of death. 83, number of murder. 26, number of chaos. 44, common number we see in the shootings. 118, also a number of death. So, I mean, again, what are the odds that the names are going to line up with the repetitive numbers that we see again and again? And this shooting being part of the 4 shootings that happened in 4 states. It is very unlikely. How many surnames can you type in and they're going to correspond with shooting? In this case, it's 2 for 2. And the overall names are interesting as well. So, little follow-up on that. And then... Okay, I got to figure out how to turn off this Siri thing. I know it's a setting somewhere. Okay, so... last thing I wanted to talk about today before we open this up for phone calls, if anybody wants to phone in. You can also cut it short today. I'm sure people are busy with the holiday upcoming. But it's the 35th Maui Gym Invitational. And the championship, the title game, is going to be Duke, who has the biggest star in college basketball, Zion Williamson, facing Gonzaga. A 1 seed versus a 3 seed. And the 2 big stars in the game, Zion Williamson, it's 137 days after his birthday. 137 is a champion-related number. Champion's 137. Today also has the life lesson number of 43. So very interesting that it's 137 days after Zion's birthday. And for the other star on the other team, it's exactly his 41st week of being his age. His birthday is February 8th. Duke equals 41 like Coach K. 41's the 13th prime. We got a 1 seed versus a 3 seed. With regards to it being the 35th Maui Invitational, year after year, we're talking about how there's just so much influence in college basketball with the Catholic Church. And not coincidentally, in this 35th edition, we get Gonzaga, which is a Catholic school. And you might recall 2 tournaments ago, before it began, I said why I liked North Carolina to beat Gonzaga and why the whole tournament was about 71. And North Carolina ended up beating Gonzaga with 71 points. And just to type in Gonzaga real quick, Gonzaga's 71 and 35, just like Catholic in those ciphers. And Gonzaga, their nickname is the Bulldogs, which also has this 71 connection. With regards to 71, Coach K, the coach of Duke, is 71 years old right now. And now that I think about it, his birthday is 13/2. I believe Catholic Church is 132, and it is. So that's interesting. Duke's the big favorite this year to go all the way, and today would be nice stepping stone on that path. This early tournament, early in the basketball season. The coach of Gonzaga, Mark Few, from his last birthday to this game is 47 weeks, which is interesting. Mark Few equals 40. We're on the day leaving 40 days left in the year. But this is our championship game, and it's actually about to get underway, I believe, in 19 minutes. I think it starts at 2 o'clock West Coast time, 5 Eastern. So keep an eye on that game. I'm wondering if we're going to see a team with 35 points at the half, maybe even a star player score 35. In light of it being the 35th tournament, they usually pay tribute to the numbers. The year where I knew it was going to be North Carolina over Gonzaga, the tournament was decided on the day leaving 71 days left in the year. That was the day they came out with the bracket. And the other big news story at the time was the bathroom bill in the Carolinas. And as you might recall, North Carolina won the men's championship and South Carolina won the ladies championship. And the sick joke was the Gamecocks are the name of the South Carolina team, but they nicknamed the South Carolina team and they referred to them throughout the tournament as the Lady Cocks. The Lady Cocks. And the bathroom bill was about who can use what bathroom. Can a transgender use whatever bathroom they feel more comfortable in? And you might recall that over this bathroom bill, the NBA moved the All-Star game out of Charlotte. It was going to be in Charlotte, but then the NBA protested the area for, questioning who had the right to use what bathroom, like shaming the politics of the Carolinas for taking a stand against certain people choosing what restroom they want to use, which really just seems like a reasonable thing to have a public debate about. I mean, do you want your little girl in a bathroom with a middle-aged man who's going through a midlife crisis, who's all of a sudden decided that he's a lady? I think it's a reasonable thing to discuss. So anyway, the Lady Cocks won it, and the Tar Heels won it. And I'll never forget it. So anyhow, the numbers. They're the key to seeing the riddles. And we're ahead of schedule right now. I try to do an hour each day. Normally we go over, but it is a busy week, and I got to be back on here for the Patreon sports fans in a little more than an hour and finish some homework before then. We can either wrap it up early today, or if anybody wants to call in, anybody got something to share, something to discuss, 509-731-0567. That's the call-in number. So let me head out to the chat. Okay, we are live. That's good. All right, we got a caller. Hello.
Hello.
What's on your mind?
Zach?
It is.
Hey, it's I go by Live Late Bear. I don't know if you see my name on there. I've commented a couple times. Kind of just watched. Don't really say much, but I thought I'd call. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for your work. Had your book printed out, been sharing it. anyone who will listen anyway. Not many of those.
Right.
Are you aware of the video I Pet Goat 2?
I am aware of it, yes.
Have you looked into the decoding of it that people have been doing?
A little bit. And I always mean to do my own, but there's just so much work done on it already. But yeah, I should analyze it and put in some time. It'd probably be worth it. I know a lot of people are interested.
Yeah, because I know that you're aware. I've heard, because I subscribe to Truth Frequency Radio and all that, so I go over your archives, and I know that you're aware of the video itself, or not the video, sorry, that I Pet Goat was a video played at 9/11, right?
Right.
Or not the video, sorry, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I didn't think I would be nervous, but once I got on the phone, I got nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous, just talking to me.
Yeah, there's so much on like to share that I'm a little overwhelmed too. But I'll try to make it as fast as possible. I meant the book they were reading on 9/11 was called The Pet Goat.
Right.
Someone showed me the Pet Goat 2 video, a friend of mine, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, is this esoteric? Is this totally encoded riddle? And I was like, okay, there's definitely something here. So I started looking into it, and there's a few YouTubers. I'm not going to take credit because this is not my work. But there's a YouTuber by the name of JK Bugout. He has been researching this video and dissecting it for basically since it came out. It was released 2012, and just to quickly say it all, everything in that video is everything that's happened in the past year or 2 years. It follows the timeline of Obama finishing his presidency and Trump being elected down to the date, down to his inauguration date. It shows 12 figures. The 12 figures represent the 12 months. It shows, out of all the 12 figures, there's only one figure that shows a hairpiece that looks exactly like Trump's. If you look closely, you'll see he has a you know how he always sits, diamond shape upside down. The figure sitting like that, there's an antler, stag antler behind his head. If you look into the zodiac of what this stag is, it runs from December 24th to January 20th. If you recall, Trump was inaugurated January 20th, 2017. And again, this came out 2012. It also encodes the rare April 1st Easter we had. It shows an Easter bunny with it shows leaves on the wall, and if you look into his work, you'll see that each leaf represents a day of the month. So it shows an Easter bunny with the one leaf by a deer representing April 1st, the rare. I think that only happens, once every 50 years or something like that?
I'd have to check.
And sorry, go ahead.
I said I'd have to check. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty rare, I know that. And so it shows that, and then it also shows the royal wedding that just happened, I believe, May 19th. It shows an apple. It's very encoded. Like, you really have to check out JK Bugout. He really dissects it, and it really makes sense once you see the timeline beginning to end. And it shows a British royal coin under Obama's shoe, and an apple rolls up and hits his shoe, and if you pause it upside down and look upside down, you'll see that a heart is on his shoe. And when the apple hits his foot, it pushes the shoe over the coin, kind of symbolizing joining, like, British royal coin and a heart. You get the royal wedding. Then it zooms out and shows, it says woo in the snow, W-U. And if you look at the Gregorian lunar calendar, 2018 is the woo shoe year.
Huh.
And it's the only year that shows woo up until until 2000. I checked 2038 is woo woo.
Huh.
Yeah, so there's definitely something. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I believe something is going to happen by the end of this year, possibly the beginning of 2019. I've been like I have endless. That's just iPad Go. Then I have all the predictive programming of all the movies that I've caught over the years. First, I'll just quickly say it. Deep Impact 1998, Tsunami wipes out New York. The Day After Tomorrow 2004, Tsunami wipes out New York. The Fifth Wave 2016, Tsunami wipes out New York. The Second Wave. There's a movie called Deluge. It was released 1933. It starts with a series of earthquakes along the Pacific coast. The tremor creates a series of tsunamis that make it all the way across to flood New York. There's also the movie When Worlds Collide, 1951. New York takes a bath. There's also The Simpsons episode, season 23, episode 9. It was aired December 11th, 2011. You can do all your gematria. I'm not very good with the gematria. I'm trying to learn from you, but it takes time for me. It was a Simpsons episode taking place in the future. Marge is 62 years old. Homer is 65. And they're visiting underwater New York City in 2037.
Huh.
I was also going through, I don't know if you know the app Kodi for like free movies and all that. I was just browsing movies from 1983 because that's the year I was born. I was just curious what was kicking around. And I come across a movie called 2019, After the Fall of New York.
Huh.
And it's a very underground B-rated movie. I couldn't even get it to play because there was no sources online, but I looked into it and checked that it is, in fact, a real movie. Then there's Planet of the Apes, released in 1968. We all know how significant that year is. Statue of Liberty is broken in half laying on the beach. Then there's also the Wendy Williams talk show. I don't know if you ever saw this.
Yeah, I covered
Wendy
it.
Williams
Yeah.
did the whole fake faint.
Right, I remember.
And she was conveniently wearing the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
And I don't know if you're aware of the encoding on the American dollars, like the pictures when you fold it into a pentagram.
Right.
Well, we had the Oklahoma City bombing. That was the 1985 to 1995 $20 bill. We have the 1998, the current U.S. still on the money, the $20 bill. You can see the Twin Towers. I confirmed that one myself. I'm in Canada, so I don't have, regular access to American money, but when I come across it, 2004 U.S. $10 bill, there's water flowing over a city building. It looks like a New York City building. Then there's the 2013 U.S. $100 bill, and when you fold into a pentagram, it forms water. It looks like water flowing through city buildings. It looks almost identical to the scene from The Day After Tomorrow. And the thing about this money, there's 3 layers of ink. There's a guy, I'd have to check, a YouTuber. He put it under a scanner and noticed that there's 3 layers of ink on this, on the $100 2013 money. And so when you break down the layers, it almost creates an animation, and it looks exactly like water flowing through a city. And just using my logical mind, when you have Oklahoma City bombing, that happened. Whether and 9/11 that happened, whether there were planes, whether people died, it doesn't even matter. We know those buildings aren't there anymore, so that took place. So when you have 2 things on the money that happened, and then you have one that hasn't happened, logically that tells me it's going to happen.
Sure. Well, you're right. There's been a lot of predictive programming for that, and we just had the caller 2 days ago. I don't know if you were listening, but he was talking about the same thing. A picture with politicians from years ago with a backdrop of New York getting hit by a tsunami wave as well, and he was looking at this date coming up this Friday. November 23rd, which on the Julian calendar would have been the 9th month, the 23rd day, where 23 is the 9th prime. I just heard you say that about the Simpsons episode, that about the underwater New York was season 23, episode 9. So hopefully it's not this Friday. I don't feel that it's that imminent, but you just never know. And it is interesting how much predictive programming there is for it. So the question becomes, how far off is it? You said something about 2030 something. I need to go back and find my old notes, but there used to be a government website that showed a huge population drop off in some year. 2000, it wasn't too far off. It was 2030 something, where this government website estimated a big population drop off in a single year in the 2030s. And I used to say, why do they have that estimate for the big population fall off in that year? What do they know that we don't?
Yeah, I've seen that too, actually. I've seen that too. See, like, I don't know. I don't know. It could, maybe it is 2000, years from now. But this video came out in 2012, the iPad Code 2, and it shows, has all these. I didn't even go. I have an entire boil down of this video, like step by step. I just don't want to go through it because I'll have you on the phone too long. But
this is the one by. Is this the one by J.K. Bugout?
Yes, the dissection is by J.K. Bugout.
The video is about an hour long.
Yeah, like he has a bunch of videos. He's been covering it for a while.
Oh, okay.
The most. I don't know. Maybe like anyone that's maybe about an hour long, check it out. Because he usually starts from the beginning again, anyways, and goes through it. Because it really does show a timeline, and just the whole woo thing, and like everything just happened. Oh, also it shows the August 21st solar eclipse that we had. I believe, like, I know you believe in a creator. I believe in a creator. These things don't happen for nothing. I believe we're being warned of things, because if you look over history, you look over the eclipses back to World War I, I believe it was. Whether how that played down the way we're told doesn't really matter. There's always an eclipse right during the time a big catastrophe happens. It's almost like the creator giving us a sign. I know that sounds very woo-woo, but that's personally what I believe. It's just, we just had, like, and it only went over America too. And it's claimed that it entered the 33rd state and exited the 33rd parallel and all this stuff. And it's really weird. Including the royal wedding, the rare April 1st Easter we just had, the August 21st eclipse. That's all encoded in this iPad Code 2. So my question is, if it is years from now, why would they show us this timeline now from last year? To me, logically, you would think it's going to be soon, right?
Sure. Well, I'm expecting 2019 to be a bad year, because it's got the chaos number, and they're the order out of the chaos gangs. Sure, and I expect there'll be more than just August 11th, but I think that's the day they got really lined up. There's a million things that point to that date. So,
just curious, because I was trying to find through your episodes why you think August 11th, 2019.
Well, you must not have watched any of my work. I said,
no, I watched it.
Well, I mean, I've been pretty specific about why August 11th.
I just missed that one. I download them all. I work night shift, but I listen all at work.
So again, here, I'll tell you why. Again, that's the day of Tisha B'Av, and everything lines up with it. And they foreshadowed it this year with their red heifer story. Tisha B'Av's to remember the destruction of the two temples. Plus a few other things line up with that date. So watch the playlist I put together. And I mean, it seems like I bring up August 11, 2019 multiple times each week. So,
I'm not lying. Like the episodes that I've listened to a lot of your stuff, but the episodes that I hear where you mention it, you just don't, because it's usually on Truth Frequency Radio, so you move on to a call. But I just didn't hear the fine details of why you believe that. But that does make sense now that you said.
Well, I got the playlist. Watch the playlist. There's a whole lot to it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there. All right, friend, I appreciate your call. I do got to wrap this up because I got to get something done before 3 o'clock, and I got to be back on here. So Appreciate you bringing this up.
All right, man.
Lots of good information. You have a great day. Take care. Be safe.
All right, you too.
All right, see you, man.
Bye.
All right. Before we go, Jeremy had a comment. Jeremy's always got a brilliant comment. So about the Brooklyn Bridge, Jeremy writes, this is even more confirmation that the Brooklyn Nine-Nine show is foreshadowing events in the 99th NFL season, most notably the Alex Smith and Colt McCoy situation. Here, hold on, caller, 1 second. Let me finish reading this comment, then I'm going to you. Now we have Chase Daniel starting for the Bears in the Lions' Den. I got to look up this thing about Chase Daniel. I didn't know that. So Jeremy's got information I don't. But, yeah, it probably is all NFL ritual. Good work, Jeremy. Well, what's up, our friend in Berkeley?
Hi. Are you still live?
I am still live.
Right. Okay. Well, basically, I mean, I'm going to bring up the blog. Do you mind if I promote the blog here?
I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all.
Okay, good. So the blog is theglitchinyourmatrix.com. I know we only have like 30 viewers in the chat right now, but I want to bring this up to you guys today, and I promise I won't make a habit of calling you every day, but I polished the blog yesterday, and I've added a few more things. I'll point out just one or two things that are just mind-blowing. A book called Tidal Wave 23, A New World Order Thriller. A book about the richest and most powerful people on the planet conspiring to take down the United States in order to further the New World Order agenda, triggered by Russian missiles. And from the date of this book, from the date that this book was published on the Kindle platform to the date November 23rd, which on my blog, all my evidence is taking that date and either flipping the date or not flipping the date and taking that date, taking the span to November 23rd. I have a mountain of evidence. From that date, the book was published November 23rd, 322 weeks exactly.
Amazing.
Another thing I just found this morning, I thought there'd be nothing more left to add, but this is, so there was a video, a very mysterious video that was released back in 2013. If you go on YouTube, you can look for it by searching up the number 2311-34421. It's supposed to be another one of these like encrypted messages. It's a minute long video.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. And the two messages that they show is backwards, but it says run away and sector New York water. I stumbled on this morning, and obviously the numbers that jump out to me right away is 2311. Again, the same date I've been looking at over and over.
Sure.
November 23rd. And so I don't call here to like promote myself or anything or to do anything like that. But I'm just in the off chance that I might be onto something here. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is November 22nd. September 22nd, midday. As what's his name? The guy playing the main character, Evan Almighty. When he sees Morgan Freeman on the TV screen, he yells, "Is that when it's gonna happen? September 22nd, midday." September 22nd, in light of the Gregorian calendar, the Julian calendar, we would technically be in the month of September. And so I wrapped it up all nicely in the blog. I'm wondering if you can take a chance to look at it, and basically what I'm requesting is if you can maybe speak on it, give maybe your own 2 cents on the blog itself sometime today, because tomorrow is November 22nd.
Sure.
I mean, that would be my humble request, but
well,
I just wanted to
right now,
put that out there.
Crystal's got your blog linked in the chat. But yeah,
Right.
and I think you're doing great work. So I mean, even if the big event doesn't happen November 23rd, I mean, there's always another November 23rd rolling around in the future. So you might have the date pegged. If it's not this year, it could be another year. But that's very interesting how it is 322 weeks from the release of that book. So
Yeah,
I'll be watching.
I really hope I'm wrong, but again, a lot of the fan calculations, it was with taking November 23rd, 2018 specifically, and like I said, there's a mountain of evidence on this blog. So again, I really hope I'm wrong, but I just wanted to make this call to you real quick because you do have an audience, and tomorrow is November 22nd. So, and again, in the beginning of the blog, the first person I pay tribute to, the only person I pay tribute to is you. I learned most of basically everything I know about gematria from you. So. It's already gotten over 1,500 views, and so hopefully it helps with your sales a little bit. The book is linked, like I said, on top of the blog. So
I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, man, I think you're doing awesome work. So just keep it up, and I appreciate you calling in too. You got a great mind, and you got good eyes, and you're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So we'll see. I got a lot of stuff to do today. So, but I will talk about it tonight on tonight's radio show. I'll definitely promote it on the radio show. So
I really appreciate that. Okay, thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. You take care. Have a good one, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Be safe out there. All right, you guys. Got to wrap it up. Otherwise, I'm not going to finish what's got to be done by 3 p.m. Appreciate all of you being here. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's a chance that I start this a little bit before our normal 1 o'clock time. Let's just plan for tomorrow a 12 o'clock start, West Coast time. That's 3 Eastern. Because I'm supposed to go help out Token Tim with some food. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate all the links in the chat. Yeah, we'll see if we get some Trump riddle with JFK on 11/22. Everyone will probably be distracted with football and food, though, so I have to go back and see when there was a big story on Thanksgiving. I can't remember in my lifetime. I'm sure it's happened, but to go back and see. All right, true seekers. Until next time.